afternoon, fellow Digital Downs and guests. We have special podcasts today. Here, all styled for it. This one is a Q&A with Bob and a couple rules. Please be polite. No lack of respect or whatever it's called. As I said on Discord the other day, the manner in which you present an issue to be resolved, at least if you think it needs to be resolved, goes a long way towards how serious the responder takes you. Found that out through the hard way. Not here with Bob, but I mean in life. And that there's a reason they have the phrase, catch more bees with honey. Well, anyway, that's my little soapbox diatribe, whatever you want to call it. I'd like to invite anyone that is listening to either A, tell me how good looking I am, or B, tell me how you will run your 5K claimers against me in a stakes race so that I can finally break through and win a couple. Those things would be nice to know. Mr. Bob will be along at somewhere 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it would be. He's out and about, probably feeding his goat or something. My guess is it's soccer related. But so we kind of got open forum for anything anyone wants to mention, although I do see Mr. Jake Dog, Dawn, thanking us for doing this and telling me I'm an alpha. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. More comments like that. But so Bob will be along while until he gets here. You're stuck with me, and I really have nothing on my mind to talk about. I was hoping there'd be some people fire some questions before Bob gets here, but doesn't look like the crowd has showed up. At least they're not typing messages. But I have had a few thoughts on the day. Still reliving some of those Eliminator finals and some other races. So just curious if anyone had some special horse or race they wanted to share. I'm being beeped at, but I don't know why, because I don't see any messages. Let me check here. Oh yeah, here he is. Gary, Gary's at work, so he won't be here. Don, if you feel like hopping on, more than happy to have you. If not, understand. Since Gary's not understanding the rules of his contract, where he must be here whenever a podcast is announced, whether he has to get through phone or whatever, he apparently is in breach of his contract. Now we can fire him, get rid of him, bring on someone we can all understand. Hope he watches this. So I'd like to reach out to new stables. No, Poncho, you're not new. And oh, wait a minute. I barely got through my first topic where I was going to bash Bob big time, and now he shows up. So I do want to reach out to new stables like White Knight, and I can't remember some of the other names, but I have extra horses I'd be willing to part with. I'm not going to say they're superstars, but they should compete and win races. So, any of the newer stables want to reach out, we know these are unraced horses. So they've been trained but unraced. Reach out to me and we'll strike up a conversation. You can just message me in Discord and I could show you a list or whatever. And maybe you can have some fun with them. So now that Bob is looking over his phone and getting his last few things taken care of, would also like to talk about some of the breeding. I have a lot of breeds left too. All kinds of bloodlines. So if you want to reach out to me, I can share that with you. You like how I've turned this into a show about me. It's just I don't want to post them all because there's so many of them, and the ones I think people are looking for may not be the ones they're actually looking for. So anybody looking for some specific bloodline, specific conforms, well, I don't have longs, but I mean long underlines. But if you're looking for something and want to give it a try, put them up for $1. I think that is the only things I had on my selfish me agenda. So we will get Bob in here and start the Q&A. Bob, Gary, hey, wow, look at you, got the whole setup.
Yeah.
Is this your normal place?
Yeah.
Gary is he had a buyout clause. I think when we suggested that he go take English speaking class, he decided to put in a buyout clause. What I'm really sad about is I didn't get a chance to record his yeehaw, which we end all the episodes with. So now I got to try to do it. Yeehaw. Ha-yee. Hee-haw. Yeehaw. I can do a donkey. Yeehaw. But now you can see why I don't do this for a living. I can't do impromptu. And I need people to make fun of me while I'm doing it, other than Gary. So Bob has disappeared. Now I'm on my own again. And I did not receive any questions from anybody. And so, oh, wait a minute. Well, we may be in luck. He's recorded it. So if I can figure out how to get it into here, we may be in luck. I see it, Gary. But I just have to figure out how to copy the file and get it in. Getting files in StreamYard isn't my forte. As you can tell, it took me about a year and a half or two to get a new opening song in. But here are some of the things that I either wrote down or received some comments on that we'll get with Bob. If you want to type any more in Discord, just let me know. I think the elephant in the room is the training track and then the real track. A couple of new developments with those. Some other stuff that he's working on. There he is. He's back. I want to see your setup there. You got the boom mic. Is that what? Yeah. Green. Is that your green screen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, green screen.
Boom mic. Is this your professional studio?
Professional?
Yeah, it's not, it doesn't look like where you normally are.
Yeah, it's where I'm at usually.
Oh, we just.
I have a whole setup behind this.
Oh, wait.
So I have like this is like a portable, green screen you can take anywhere with you, but that usually stays there. But behind this, I have a full room green screen.
Nice.
For other stuff. And
yeah. So you want me to fire questions, or do you want to beat me to it and just start talking about the site and updates and things in general? And I can be mean on these questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't really want it to be like a Bash Bob session.
No. I already put that in the rules. But every time I tell people I need questions, I get pages and pages of, no, those aren't really questions. All right, I will ask some of the things, and then feel free to go off in tangents. The first one is quick because I think we can narrow it down, because I sent you a note last night that, the site was just crawling. It's always late at night, my time. So I think I sent that to you. I don't know. When did I send you that message? About midnight my time, 1 your time. I wasn't on much before that, so I don't know. When I got back on a few hours later, it's just fine. So I don't know if that's like when he does updates or if that's something going on. But that's the first time I noticed it. But I noticed in Discord people were saying it. So do you think that is like we just happen to notice it when he's loading things, or
I would say it's not normal, and that they'll take care of it. It's not the program, it's not the developer, it's going to be the server people.
Yeah, okay.
But so maybe today or tomorrow. They do have more of a skeleton crew over the weekend, so
okay. So Gary's saying early morning him, and so that would fall into late night me. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably, my guess is that it's probably cron job related, and then they'll work it out. So I would say,
yeah,
that whatever time period that is, those 2 hours, in the next couple of days, that'll be gone. So
awesome. Let's see. Now I saw yesterday or this morning. When was that? You're posting a bunch of stats on the last week. Is this just California or post positions and all this stuff? Was that a response to a question on California and its results or something?
Nah, there was never any question asked. I'm just sharing information.
Oh, okay. I know. I see Florida now. Okay. All right. So that was the next topic I had was, I think, a discussion, or else some things were passed back and forth on the training workouts. And I think we all thought something was different, but in effect, it was because the training track kind of mimics real racing. I mean, the condition on the track for that day's racing. So the one day that was big is people were saying, oh, my horses have gotten slower today, but that was a sloppy track day. So the training track was also kind of reflecting that, but that's now been fixed, or not, I don't want to say fixed.
Yeah, it was never broken. So yeah. I don't want to use that word.
It's now changed, or where it will be the same speed rating. And I know in the past you said there's multiple fasts, but there's the one that's been the most consistently close to the number of races run number of days where that setting is on the live racing. So to answer Gary's question.
No,
Yes.
I don't understand Gary's question. I mean, he's saying that times are all over the place. I don't know if that's today or not. I mean, if he's saying that the times are all over place today, I find that hard to believe. So I don't really know, if we want to talk about specifics, then I can answer that question. But as far as a general question that you're posing or a statement, is that the site has always used the when you're training at a track, it's using the live track. So if you're training at Belmont, it's using the live track at Belmont. So it's always been that way, and now, and some people use that to their advantage, which would be like they know how fast the track is. Some people are tuned, I guess, we're tuned into that, so they could, if they wanted to work or train a horse at the track, they kind of get an idea of how the track is running. Now, this I don't know how many days ago it would be, but now I guess people would prefer that the track is one. The track condition stays the same every single day.
We're doing indoor. We're going to race on indoor track, so it's environmentally cooled and heated, and the surface is maintained. So so if I train today, tomorrow, next day, every sloppy, every turf soft, if I pick fast or firm or whatever setting, horse is going to train the same.
Yeah, my
within a relative, 0.0203 for 6 furlongs and all that.
Yeah, my understanding is that the training track is the same condition every single day.
It has been for me. I've trained every 2 or 3 days. I've trained this one horse, and it's been the same on fast, mud, sloppy, regardless of whatever racing the live track was. So I think
so mud was the same speed as fast?
No. Every day fast was the same. Every day good was the same, but no, they were different. They were about 0.08 to 0.1 different.
Yeah.
At 6 furlongs every day. I think 40, 50, 60 mine was easy to do because I kept training at 40, 50, 60, 40, 50, 60, 40, 50, 60. So I think we're good to go on that one. The other one was...
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is, people send me messages with, their work times and stuff. They copy over work times.
Yeah.
Over the last week or two, whatever. But they don't tell me when the work times were. They don't tell me which one was oldest, which one was newest.
Yeah.
So I get messages all the time, this kind of stuff, but no one gives me enough information to actually answer the question.
Okay.
So if someone wants to send me or has a question about a work time, then it's important to know by date, which date the work time was taken. So that way I know what to look for or how to answer the question.
Okay.
But as far as
the ones on the site were pretty specific, though, the ones I saw. So the ones you're getting privately.
No, they're just work. It's just a time. It'll just say 6 furlong. It'll say 6 furlong. This is the work. 6 furlong. This is the work.
Here's what it was before. Here's what it is now, but not really telling you.
Okay. No, I don't get before and now. I just get 2 times. They send over 2 times. Yeah, these 2 times are different.
Yeah, it's hard to answer a question without the information being accurate. Okay. Well, I can say per my testing for the last 3 or 4 days, regardless of the racing track condition, my horse has trained the same every day as it did on September 1st or whenever I got it. So the moral here is take time and send as much details so Bob can take a look at it.
Something's wrong with my camera, man. I don't know what's going on.
I know you keep freezing.
Huh?
You keep freezing on me.
I keep freezing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's happened like 2 or 3 times where you're talking. I can hear you talking, but the picture. Hasn't happened in a while though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something reset. I have no idea what it is. I'll have to figure it out later.
Windows update.
Probably
No,
will.
you have a Mac, don't you?
No, this setup down here is Windows.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the other racing thing that I don't know if it was something different or what. I guess the bias, is that what it's called? Because you've been posting about how you've been studying certain distances at certain tracks and working on that.
Yeah, well, we've been looking at it for a while, but we've been working on it since the 28th.
28. Okay.
We've looked at it since July. Basically, we were looking at lane bias related to gates and the opening 2 furlongs. So, people can run their own data. They can pull their own data. I know Dash, he keeps up with his own data. We have our own spot stats that we can run any period of time. So we're well aware of if we think there's, some type of bias in gates or running lanes. And
Okay.
I think the last time that we had to look at it, we looked at the 3-hole.
That was a while ago though, right?
Yeah, that was a few years ago. It was the last time that we really thought we needed to look at it, based off of what people were saying and some results.
Oh, I was thinking like 5-10 years ago.
Now 2021 was the 3-hole, and then
Okay.
actually it wasn't really it wasn't the 3-hole that had a bias. It was it was looked at as a 3-hole had a weakness,
Yeah.
like a more profound weakness than the rest of the gates. So that's actually what was reviewed, at that point in time. And then post server, I could say server update, but there was many updates at once. It wasn't just a server. So we went in July. We went to a new upgraded server. We went to the newest operating system for that server, and then we also had to have multiple race engines developed for the newest operating system because otherwise it wouldn't work. But basically, because everything was new and everything's so updated, it's still using the original race code. It's still using race engine code. That there was a possibility that the race engine itself would run a little more efficiently, run cleaner, run faster, and stuff like that. So not necessarily that the horses are faster, but it just processes a lot faster. So we just were paying attention to the data since July. I think it was like July 26th or something like that. So basically, there is a slight there's slight impact, I think, in some of the running lanes or gate bias, and I think everybody saw that in
Yeah.
August. So it's not something that we want to have to tinker with, but it's also something we can't ignore. So we knew that we had to start addressing this, and we started in September 28th to start really diving into potential lane bias and making some small tweaks here and there. So the thing is, though, it's impossible to make it like a 1-day tweak or a 2-day tweak. You
Right.
need data. So we need a lot of data. So we have made a couple updates, and I imagine we have another one probably coming in soon in the next day or two.
Okay. That was my question is, I know you said early on, you're always kind of looking at it, but so you still have some an update.
Yeah. I mean, we don't see, I'm not going to overreact to certain people on what they say or certain race days, where
Right.
people think, oh, the 5-hole was on fire. You're right. That day, let's say the 5-hole was kicking butt that day, but it wasn't the day before. And it's also the same it's the same setup.
Right.
Wasn't the day after, same setup. So so we don't overreact to that kind of stuff. That's why we need to see, more hard data as far as, what's going on. because it's not just about that distance. We have to really look at it from all distances and also how many entries and how many gates were in the race. A 7 furlong race with 5 horses, and the results of that are different than the 7 furlong with 8 horses and the results with that. So you can't tweak or update something based off of 5 posts, or
No,
only then tweak or update something based off of 7 gates. It's a little complicated.
no, I did. I looked through my own, and it's not enough. It's only like 18 races I was just looking in October, and the 7 or 8 horses in a race, anything over 6 furlongs, but I used all tracks, and I just lumped all the data together because there's only 18, and I was seeing much better results from the outside horses. Now I didn't go back and looked at all the quality, obviously, and I don't know what everybody's instructions were. So there's so many different, I don't want to say variable, but factor in a race. You can't really, and like you said, unless you have 100% of the data, you can't really analyze. And if I watched my next 18, I might see the exact opposite too. So,
well, some of it's more obvious to see. So, when we looked at some of the data and we said, okay, after the first tweak to it, and there was at certain distances there was a new imbalance that was created at certain distances where maybe the inside was not as strong as the outside, right? So outside might be a little bit stronger at certain distances. So then and some of that's more obvious because of if you watch like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 races in a row, and like maybe it's a mile or a mile and eighth, and then the 1 and 2 hole were basically last in every race. So then you will see a secondary tweak made, and that's kind of where we're at now. And I think there's another one going in soon to actually, we're looking at again, the 7 furlong, the 8 furlong, the 9 furlong at certain tracks again for a little more balance with, again, maybe I'm going to say inside gates, but I don't mean 1 and 2. I just mean
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we're looking
Or
at
depending on the number of horses, obviously. But
Yeah. But so we're looking at that imbalance again on the inside. So we're getting closer to it. I think it looks good, looks better already, off of the data that I pulled. But it's still going to take a little time. The goal again, just to reiterate, is really not to make any gate by itself more important than any other. It's about the horses. There's always going to be people can call it a bias. There's always going to be some type of strength within a lane when you're racing around a track. That's math, and that's real life. I can't. That's going to stay. The fundamentals of racing are going to stay.
Right. Yeah. If you have a 6 horse that sits 3 wide versus, he's running a lot farther. So
but you're not going to get you're not getting some type of over the top bonus because your horse is running in lane 1. What I would like to see visually, but I think we're seeing more of actually in some of the races that I've watched, what we're seeing, I think, is actually better racing on the track.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing, I've seen some incredible 4 and 5 wide, even on the front stretch, and horses holding, going to the back stretch, and even pushing on. I think, to me, that's amazing racing.
I agree. It just looks a little bit different than before, so we like it. I think 90% of people at least like it. I think we're just looking for, okay, we're locked in. This is what it's going to be, and we'll look at it, or you'll look at it from time to time. But if I understand right, a lot of this was caused from the server thing.
It depends.
Or whatever it's called, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it, right? There's going to be people out there that are going to say they lose a race, and they're going to blame it on a gate.
Yeah, that's me.
Whether it's their gate is not good enough, or where. So there's going to be a group of people that believe that, oh well, it's because I didn't have the 7th gate. I can't do nothing with that. With those people that think that way, that's never going to change. They probably think that way with other things. So the what I'm going to say is that these, as far as the tweaks go, we're closer to being done than the start.
Yeah, and to clarify my dispute with the 6 or 7 hole, it's because I don't know what I'm doing when I'm in the 6 or 7 hole. It's not. I wasn't complaining about the track. It's just I lack skillful instructions at the outside posts, I guess. I
Yeah.
would say outside, what I would refer to is truly outside 6, 7, 8, not the 5 in a 5-horse race, even though theoretically that is the outside post. But I would consider. Well, anyway, that's me. Okay.
My advice on that, on middle out racing, would be, again, to go back to, where would you like your horse to settle in? Where would
Yeah.
you like it to run? Where would you like it to have less adversity? And I think that that's kind of where I would look at it, as some advice as far as how to race that, because it is true. Like, if you're not on the inside positions, you might have had a previous setup where you liked, okay, well, I'm going to steady here or push here or whatever it is, and then you get middle out, you're not really sure, but that's when the rest of it kicks in. I mean, are you fast enough to clear? Do you have to drop back? Would you rather push and know that you might settle mid pack? That's kind of like what's the strategy, is, and that's the fun part of racing on the game. So it's not just, you know, uh, push or relax. There is an actual strategy to where you want to race within the lanes.
Yeah, that brings up, I think, where my OCD will not let me do the right thing, because I still have not let go of training times, workout times, because I see a horse, let's say a mile. Let's go further. Say 10 furlongs. And he kind of close, not too far apart, by like 0.05 or something between two distances. Our two instructions say steady and close. He's 202.95, 202.90, whatever. But then if I push him up to another one, if I go farther down, farther up, then it's like 0.2 difference. And my mental block is I refuse to use those settings because, it seems like the horse isn't nearly as good. It's like, so I admit, I don't know. I'm one of them dummies. I don't want to say dummy, but I'm going to say ignorant. That, like, I find where it works the best at every distance, and I rarely come off of it. Like I hardly ever go from steady to stalk, or even, and if I do, it'll only be one. It won't be two.
Yeah.
So that's my mind block. I just have never gotten over that if a horse at 12 furlongs is 0.25 worse in the works than the setting before, that, I would move to that setting for that race. But I see when the times I've tried it, it's like, hey, that kind of worked. So
right, because because I mean, the race
training times are training times, and it's
I mean,
what a race.
Well, that's why I would suggest using the multi-work thing, because it brings other lanes involved. And like I say all the time, when you're working out and you're doing a training time with one horse, and there's really not a lot of other outside factors, and then you kind of get stuck in with those instructions. So it's like, my horse runs the best at 7 furlongs when I steady it. It's the fastest workout time he has. It's the fastest workout time running alone in lane 1 all the way around the track. I agree. But
Right.
the idea is really, you're in a race and you're in the 5th hole out of 8 horses. I'm not necessarily sure that your fastest instruction is the best instruction to use. And that's kind of where a lot of people get twisted up in the game, where it is kind of assumed that his fastest time, I steady him, he's the fastest. Well, you steadied him in lane 1 by himself. You just steadied him in lane 6 in the 8-horse race. And that's different. It's just different.
Yeah, I get that. I see what you're saying. The multi-track, you'd get a better idea. Okay. Multi-training. Okay. So Gary keeps Pelton with the questions we've already answered. So we will.
Go ahead. We'll revisit it. Pull it up on the screen.
When will the training track be set that every horse will train on the same ground day in, day out? It's set now.
It's been set for 3 days.
It's set for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days.
And then he says because you use it to validate. Yeah, I get it. Apples to apples. And he says he might have missed it. He's working, so he's
that's fine.
Catching some of this and then having to go back. So I'll give him credit, even though he bought out his contract and he doesn't have to show up anymore apparently. And then he says, it's fast, Gary. It's on fast.
Well,
but there are versions of fast. So
no, hold this point. That's why I asked you earlier about that, because I actually haven't, I don't use it, but the training track fast, when you select fast as your condition, that is set. That's not changing. Okay. That condition is set. It doesn't matter, again, to reiterate, what the actual live track is running at, which condition the track is in. The fast condition for training is fast. Whatever condition that may be, which you'll never know, as far as like the speed of that, which you'll never know, is set. That's not going to change, but that should be different than good and mud. I believe if you go to train on good and you go to train on mud, it's different.
Yes.
And those also are set. So
it's as if you're running on the same track every day, regardless of other factors as far as weather.
Right.
So,
your new training track is, what would you call it? Static. It's basically
static
It's
locked in.
it's locked in on whatever surface you choose to train on. So if you choose to train on fast, or if you choose to train on mud, it's locked in at that. It's no longer some type of dynamic setting. It's not live anymore. It's not breathing. The training track is no longer breathing.
He's giving you the okay now. The other question on that, though, you brought up something, because we keep talking about fast, good, heavy beat, or sloppy, muddy, whatever it is. You did mention, I think on Discord, about an update may come to show you how your variance between dirt and turf would be on your horse, or that got ruled out because people don't typically get to train on turf in the real world setting. So I didn't know if you were still going down that path.
Well, I think well, I mean, that's the difference between real life and a game, right? So it's like,
right.
I think if you're going to have the option of dirt and turf in training, then it should mean something.
Exactly.
If it doesn't, then why have it? So
that was my point too.
Right. So now that we're doing a basically a fixed or a training track that's unchanged, we can actually then look at making the turf condition more relatable, and also maybe also relatable to the horse's surface preference. Whereas if you were to train turf, if you're trained fast, 108.60, and if you train turf now, maybe 108.60 or whatever variable, maybe in the future, if it's a turf preference horse, that we actually kick in the turf inputs, and maybe that horse runs 108.52 or 108.46 because it's on a turf preference and it prefers turf, and there's impact there. Maybe you can see it in training. So that's something that may be on the doorstep now that we have made this update. So
awesome. It could go slower on turf too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And just so everybody knows, we could take away, because I've thought about taking away, it's showing you what the preference is, because
I would be for that. I would be for that. I would 100% be for that.
Right. So here's the thing. I think a horse can have a surface preference, but I mean, this horse and this horse, horse A may have a surface preference, but it may not be so profound. Whereas horse B has a surface preference and it's drastic.
Absolutely.
right? Now, when we show you the turf preference, we just say it prefers turf. You have no idea how much it does.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is maybe once we go along down the road here, now that the training is set like this, we then involve the surface aspect of it. We remove telling you what it prefers, okay, and you figure that out on your own.
I love that. I love that a
You
lot
know,
because there's a couple of ways you can figure it out. Is you can sit there and do the time and train them, or you can race them on both. But you'd have to, again, there's so many factors. If you race it one day on turf firm, the next day on dirt fast, unless the conditions were almost the same, you wouldn't get an idea. But if he just totally got stomped on one or the other, and he had like a decent post and a good trip, and he was in the right grade and right instructions, you might take note of that.
right?
But yeah, I like that. On that, the other part about, I think I saw this, but I don't know where it went. The thought of having a place where you train and no one gets to see your works, like a private workout, or
Yeah.
private versus public. What was, I can't remember the specific details on that. And
Well,
if we're not doing it, don't even worry about going.
no, I mean, I actually,
Well,
I
give us the theory on it.
no,
Okay.
the theory would be that if it's your stable and it's your horse that you're working out privately, right?
Yeah.
That's not public information.
Right.
And, so it doesn't need to be. Okay. So all these workouts that you do that we show the workout history at the bottom, we show you the last 12 or 18 works. Like that should be that's private information. We make it so that and then we have the new public workout track, okay, where you can work by yourself or you can do multi-works, right? Those works there are mandatory. I mean, not mandatory. They're public information.
Okay.
So those are the works that would be public. Now, but in order to actually make it really work, you'd have to make some type of mandatory workout where, like, every so often that horse has to work out at that track.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're trying to sell a horse, or you would definitely want to.
Right. You would have to work out at the track because that's the public information. Now,
Yeah.
the interesting thing is, I think someone mentioned this, would be because I thought if you did it that way, that then your private track should be a little bit slower.
Well, that's the part two of that is there's got to be a variance between them. Otherwise, what's the point other than
Right.
hiding your works, which you theoretically can do if you just work it shitty,
Right. And then, but then some people, well, I think it should be the private training, the private works. I don't think it should be so. I just think that I'm going to put it like this. If you're working privately, you're not working with jockeys. If you're at a farm, you're not working with a racetrack.
Out. What are they calling morning? I can't remember.
Yeah, morning rider.
The walker rider. I mean, it's not even the right weight and.
Right. So everything else can remain the same, but you just remove the jockey option. There's no jockey you can only choose trainer weight, right?
Yeah.
Trainer weight. Then if you take the horse to the public track, then you're able to use a jockey.
Right.
And the difference between the two is really going to be the difference in the time. It's not it's not the, well, if you were running by yourself, I'm not talking about, it's in theory.
Yeah.
If you're at a private farm, your own private stable, and you're training a horse, you're using a trainer. That's why the time technically it shouldn't be as good as if a jockey was really, pushing his horse around the track,
Yeah.
So when you went to work the public track, that information is public. That information then becomes best works, whatever, 1 of 20 for the day, 2 of 30 for the day, or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that information is shown publicly. That's the idea behind it. It's a little bit more similar to real life.
Yeah.
And you then have to make it. Listen, if you want to sell a horse, it has to be. You'd have to have a public work showing recently.
Yeah. So I missed Don's comment here where he was reminding people that length in his race is 0.23. So, like he says, good path to the wire. If you set, your horse drop back, he can still get there. You can change settings. I think he's talking to me. You can change settings. I don't know what Gary's thing means here. What about breeze up sales? I don't know what a breeze up sale is. Gary, can you clarify what a breeze up sale is for somebody? Because I don't really know what that means. I mean, where the horse is breezed versus, how.
Yeah, I always thought like trainers were always more of a breezing.
Yeah. I don't know, but he mentioned sales in there, so I'm not sure what that means. Okay, let's get off of those topics. Otherwise, we'll be here about 5 hours. But that's very good information. Thanks for explaining all that. I saw, and I think you're going back and forth on this, working on a top breeder lifetime or top 100, 200, whatever where it doesn't kill the server. And they're going back and forth on what type of horses should be in there. Is that what I'm lately seeing? Like this guy won't put a horse in there if it came from the ring.
Is that a question from somebody, or are you just thinking in general?
I just remember back and forth, and then the other day, you asked us if Trillium was a ring horse, and
no, I think I was just giving people an update on why it wasn't on there, not necessarily that I agree with it. So I mean, at the end of the day, the developer doesn't make these decisions. I do. So if I don't like it, then I change it. He doesn't get to dictate to me.
I didn't think so, but the way it was worded,
what we want to see. It's just that's
like,
the answer that he gave me. It did, the thing is, I wasn't in front of a computer. I was on my phone, and he sent me a message, replying to my question, and his response was that either the sire or the mare was a DD horse, and I was sitting there thinking it was almost like a riddle, and I was thinking, wait a second, does that matter? I was like, I don't think that matters. And then
the other thing is, go ahead.
So when I kicked back to him, I said that doesn't even matter. I don't even know where you're coming up with that. Because I said it's a home breeding. That horse might have come from a DD line, but he bred the horse. It's now part of his home breeding, and he's the one breeding foals with that sire or mare, which makes this whole DD portion of it irrelevant and should fall under homebreds. And I think I'm correct on that.
Well, the pushback on his programming logic is, and Pancho even mentions it, is that's all well and good, but there were others with the same criteria that were on the list. So how is he excluding one but not the other? So I can't remember who the horse was, but Coconut, I think. Like Coconut's the same thing. It was a ring horse. And it's on the list. So didn't understand how the programming language kept one off but not the other.
No, me either.
Yeah.
But I think I mean my guess on that would be is that he's missing something in his own code. One is a mare and one is a sire. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that his code is probably correct on the mare side, and the code is incorrect on the sire side.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
Okay. So whatever it is blocking it. So on Monday, I expect that to be corrected, because it definitely falls within homebreds. So,
I like this. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. I would get it that you don't put Barbaro and Rhythm and all those on there, but their offspring should be on there.
Right, exactly. Well, that's my message to him. He doesn't work Saturday and Sunday unless I really need him to.
Okay.
And,
I like this idea.
What?
You know how they go to I guess you go to places and the horse runs some sort of specific thing and then they sell it, I guess.
Yeah.
They sell it on the spot. Is that what happens? Or they were recently raced at breezed or galloped. Like when you go to an auction and buy a horse that's unraced, like there's no way it if it only had like a breezing work that's like it didn't work out on the track, you know.
Yeah, someone's got to throw that in the programming request for follow up. I mean, I don't,
Okay. I like that idea. I like the idea because it brings all these horses together on the same day, and you know, you can put out a list of horses that are going to be there, and almost like a true, I don't want to say an auction, but a sale or whatever. I mean, it would be an auction, but okay. Breezing. Gary's going to regret that because, of course, I'll have 200 horses listed.
my camera is
Yeah,
really,
it froze again a minute ago.
I didn't. What do you mean it froze? I didn't see it freeze yet.
You probably don't see it, but like your image, you keep talking, but your image like freezes for 2 to 3 seconds, and then you come back live. But maybe mine's doing it too. I don't know. It's probably StreamYard. Okay. So that's in process. Instructions are out. You're still targeting next season for the one breeding method through the hub only instead of the old method.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it needs work. I mean,
just seeing.
I mean, I think it's work. Isn't it work? I mean, some people would have to let me know if it's working or not. You know, if it's working correctly, if they're happy with it. You know, I don't hear anything about
back to the other discussion, whether it's working, like it works, like you put one on there and someone uses it, it works. I haven't tried it again because I'm one of those goofballs that like I kind of wait until everybody's like, okay, no more changes. This is what it is. And because I was having issues where I would, and it might have been solved. I'm not saying that it hasn't, where I would post a breed for someone and they don't use the hub. So they would never see the breed on the public thing. So they would have to go into the hub. Actually, I'd have to take it out of the hub and put it on go back into the old way and say, yes, show it, you know? So it's just an issue of having two different things. And the other one was you reserve 5 and you get charged. You know, we had that discussion. I don't want to get into that again.
Yeah, I mean that's going to go away. I just haven't had a chance to work on it. But that issue will be resolved. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so we kind of gone over what I would think were the most pressing. Some of the stuff that recently was in the discussion on Discord. I know that in the back of your mind, you always have ideas spinning. Is there any like upcoming things, not kind of I don't want to make fun of Trump, but not a concept, but something that, yes, this is going in and it's just a matter of time type thing. Like I think you mentioned before, some new reports and stuff on different things. So, and I'm not saying that's one that, you know, you need to discuss. Just curious if there's anything you want to share with us that on your work list that's
no, I mean, a couple things that I know are going in just a matter of time. Or one is the new payment page.
What page?
A new payment page that allows for many more ways to actually add funds to your account.
Oh, payment. Okay.
Including crypto.
Crypto. Yeah, that should be good.
That's probably through Coinbase, but it's going to be on there as well. Probably Zelle, Venmo. But
so I don't know. I have never followed the crypto world.
Yeah.
Does that mean that $1 in UK is $1 in US, $1 in Australia? Like it's the thing that makes the currency like one value fits all, or
I mean, I guess that's their theory and the concept behind it. For me
Yeah.
though, it's really, that's not, it's, I guess that's just as useful, for us as far as worldwide, as far as what you get, as far as getting the currency.
obviously they have buy and sell prices, so you
Yeah,
might have
I mean, it
paid
could go
more,
up and down, but I mean, I'm not getting involved with crypto value of a game in the game.
right?
So, like, I don't want any part of that. So,
Yeah,
what all I'm saying is that it will allow it as a payment method to get your game credits.
how you got it is how you like. If you paid X amount, that's on you.
Right.
Like you're just gonna set how many crypto buys you a new horse, that type of thing.
Right.
And if for some reason the value of crypto tripled and someone had to pay, I'm just throwing out a number, $40 for one crypto, then, you would not want to put it,
I'm
you would not want to buy
I'm
it.
not paying. Yeah, I'm not worrying about what crypto price is.
Yeah.
Right. So my thing is, if you deposit $100 with crypto, but using
Yeah.
Coinbase, if you withdraw $100, you're getting $100 US.
Yeah.
Whatever that is in crypto, that's on you. Don't
Yeah,
come to me and tell me that
you're not a crypto exchange.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about all that stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
That's
good. What'd you say? Venmo, Zelle?
I think probably Venmo, Zelle, and probably an enhanced PayPal. There'll be QR codes, stuff like that. There'll be.
Oh, okay.
That's definitely a thing. But also, what I'd like to do at the same time is, if you're not using Coinbase and if you're going using again dollars or whatever, I'd like to have a currency exchange already built in.
Yeah.
A better job with that, instead of offering bonuses and stuff like that, so that no matter where you are, that you're getting I mean, I guess in a way it does work as is, because I mean, don't get me wrong, it does actually work as is. It's just that the bonus I give people for the relief it's more manual. So I'm trying to figure out a way to address this automatically, so that if you were from Australia and you don't have to deposit, they're spending $170 just for the $100 in game credits. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm trying to, make that part of it, the currency exchange, really automated.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not exactly sure what that entails, to get done.
I hear you.
If they use Coinbase like you started it off with, that's one way to offset that, because if you're using crypto as a payment method, you know what I'm saying?
That was on you, how much you paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I when things pop into my head, I have to ask them right away. Otherwise I'll forget, even though I got my little notebook here. I know this does not benefit you, but is there ever going to be a self-imposed moratorium on buying or breeding horses, where I could say, for the next 30 days, lock me out, and if I want back in to do it, I got to pay like $50 or something? You ever, for those of us with no self-control, is there ever any thought about that? It sounds stupid, doesn't it? It sounded stupid while I was saying it, but
yeah, I mean, I guess the question would be, if you consider the site a game of skill or gambling, because that's usually where you see that kind of stuff.
I think it's some of both. Obviously, the racing and all that is more skill. The ring is, you got 400 sires and dams. I would consider it like there's nothing skillful about buying a ring horse.
But you're not betting that you're getting one or the other or something.
No, but like when I breed, I know what I should be getting as far as the makeup of the horse. I have no idea the quality. And when I would consider the ring. I don't want to use the term lottery, but to me, that's what the ring kind of is, the lottery. And you just hope you hit it. And when I think lottery, I think gambling, even though it's not really buying a ring horse isn't really gambling because you do know some of the outcomes of
I mean, yeah, but there's odds in place of what you could possibly get, and that doesn't change. It's the same odds
I
every
know.
time you do it.
Yeah,
but
when I think of odds, I think of gambling. Well, anyway, let's move
no,
on.
it's not. Honestly, I'm not for or against it, and I haven't really given it much thought. I'm just thinking of it right now, as far as
No, yeah,
my first impression is that something I normally see on gambling sites.
I've seen it on other horse sites.
I'll definitely think about it. I don't, but it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't impact me.
Yeah, that's well, it does.
I mean, honestly, it's not about not adding it because I'm afraid I'm gonna make the business is gonna make less money, the site's gonna less. I mean, it is what it is. If the site generates less revenue, then the site can't offer as much in bonuses either, and can't do as much as far as investing into this. I mean, so it's all kind of runs together.
Yeah, right. It's all.
It's not really.
I
It's
like
not
that.
really. It's not a house of cards where to the
Yeah.
point where if someone clicks off their own button that they're not going to breed.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I like that. I like what you said there, though. The less I breed, the less other people get of my money. Yeah, I might use that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee
The
limits
less people
breeding.
breed, the less they can make money too. It depends on if they're buying, selling, racing, or whatever.
I could see the Digital Downs headlines. Lee cuts ring horse buying in half. Suffering big loss. Purses are dropped a half.
Yep.
No more bonuses.
It's not a bad feature. I'm not against it.
It's just for us. For me. It's just me, really. I'm the only one.
But where would you put it?
What's that?
Where would you put it?
I guess on your account page.
Oh.
Just a little button that says, locked out of breeding, buying, whatever. But then I'd be begging you to let me back in once the ring changed. And that's why you got to have a disincentive, like have to pay. It's sad. I know, Bob. It's sad. It's me. I would put that at the very bottom of every idea.
Well, it can't be just you if it exists elsewhere. Unless you're everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
Okay.
I'm always scouting the sites.
Yeah.
Then there's nothing close to this one. Now will you add it?
No.
I debated on this, but there's a longtime member that's having a serious health battle. And I would just ask people to pray for him. I don't want to get into the details. I don't want people bothering him because he keeps having to repeat the story over and over. He knows everybody here. He was surprised that there's so many inquiries, but Mr. Foggy Dan Stables, Daniel Fogg is in a very tough battle right now. So I ask for your prayers. He's very positive, and just people pray for him. And I'll just leave it there. I don't want to get the super details.
Yeah, appreciate that, Lee. I go back almost 20 years knowing Dan.
Yes. If there's a more popular person on the site, I haven't been here that long, but it's one of the first people I met. We play games together. People bet. We talk. We play poker. So it's one of my closest friends here on the site. Sorry.
Very wise man also.
And for the longest time, the only Triple Crown winner
on
the site. And that says something over 15, 20 years or whatever.
That's true. It was a very long time. I thought it was going to last forever.
Yeah, I did too. Well, maybe if somebody knew what they were doing with Disco Inferno, he might have done it.
Yeah, probably someone that didn't worry about what lane it was in.
Yeah, or what distance or surface.
Right. Yeah.
That's a turf horse. I can't run him on dirt. 1.25 miles, you can't get home. And then he wins the Preakness.
Yeah.
he'll never be close enough. He's too slow out of the gate. He just wins the Preakness. Okay. Anything else that's popping up on your don't like? Anything with the site design update, the look and feel, any of that? I think you were talking about that once before, adding, can't remember what it was. I don't remember. Might not be anything. Just tell me anything that's popped in your head that you're really excited about that we haven't talked about.
They're really excited about?
Yeah, like, I know how when you're a type A type guy, so there's always something, or something to fix, or something.
Yeah, no. The unfortunate thing is, it just seems to be, always something that pops up that wasn't planned.
Yeah,
and it's stealing the time from stuff that we're actually trying to develop. So the perfect example would be we're in the middle of trying to add new distances to the site, but everything has to be put on hold because we have this lane issue. So, it's more frustration than excitement on some of these fronts. Now I get excited about, certain horses, certain stables, what they do here, the continued involvement by the community. I mean, I love that stuff. So I get excited about that, but as far I'm really wanted to keep pushing the envelope as far as what we can do from, the distance part. We had the second video upgrade, the second version of the Unity to be released sometime in February, March. So, that comes with cleanup on the video, added, basically, updating the zoom features, changing the lighting on the track, adding a social share, there's a lot of stuff that we want to do with the Unity, and even improve the performance on some of the mobile phones. So there's a lot of stuff there with that's exciting, but that's already scheduled, but that's not going to hit till February, March, because that's when those developers are free to work on it. The distances I was hoping to have done, this season. I still plan on having done this season. There's general things on the site that I would like to see updated or fixed, but I can't be everywhere at the same time, and some of that's not, that kind of work is not the kind of money you wouldn't pay your developer to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need someone of that quality to do that one. The rate shouldn't be the same. So
I got you. So this one always comes up, so I'll assume that. Just tell me if it's still a possibility versus maybe it's just off the radar, and that's the whole jumps thing.
I don't think it's ever off the radar. I think that you have to be realistic, though, and I think sometimes we talk in theory and just say, "Well, we can do this because we can. We already have the assets. We had the website. We could do it. It's just a matter of paying a developer to finish all that up, right?"
That's what I'm going to. So right now the project isn't started.
Well, I mean, in a sense,
like
in a sense,
like nobody's working on it in a sense.
Well,
they have a plan, but
I wouldn't say it's not started. I would say that I would say the developers aren't actively working on it because they're working on other things.
Okay.
So it's not that it's not going to ever be done, but I would say is if I have to make a choice and say, would I rather have new distances as is on the game that we have now and an improved video or Unity player to go along with that? Or would I rather build a jumps course that on top of jumping it would take quite a long time to make sure that it's correct and proper, and then deal with the fallout of, does that steal entries from the regular game? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes along with it. So, on the first look, I would say I would rather work on the current game as far as I'd rather have the distances kicked in. I'd rather have the pay stuff kicked in. I'd rather have the video stuff kicked in, and I think that is improving the current game and making the current game better and strong. Why open a whole another avenue of jumps when you have a lot you could work on the existing situation? Now, someone else will say, well, why can't you just work on all of it?
Yeah.
Right. And we probably could.
But I've cut back my breeding.
Huh?
I've cut back my ring and breeding, so you've lost a ton of revenue.
Oh, I did? I didn't even know. So I guess you didn't really buy that much in the first place.
Yeah. No, I haven't cut. I have cut back, but yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
Look, there's
only so many dollars, right? I mean, you got to spread it.
Yeah. Put it this way: if someone could tell me tomorrow, or in 2 weeks, someone could tell me in 2 weeks that if I built a Greyhound racetrack,
Greyhound,
just listen to me. Tomorrow, if I built a Greyhound racetrack, that we would have 100 to 500 members ready to play and sign up.
No,
right?
More likely with the jumps.
If you could tell me that, then I could have a Greyhound track probably in a few weeks.
Oh, okay? I'm going to tell you, you could.
No.
Does that? No. Do I have to be truthful, or do I?
No, but that's what I'm saying. So it's not that you can't. I could get a jump track running in weeks. It's not. But there's a lot more to that. The video feed and everything else, whatever. Do you have a customer base to support that? Do you want to reinvest into an unknown?
No, not with Greyhound, not at all.
No, even with horses. Do you want to
No, jumps.
I'll tell you what. I'd have to tell you if someone's serious about it, and they want to, get involved and they want to fund it or fund it or whatever, contact me. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to use the basis of our race engine and stuff like that, whatever, as a starting point. It's not at the top of the list for me personally.
You're talking about the jumps or the Greyhound?
Whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying we have the ability to do all of it. We have the people that could build all of it, but the thing is that how big of a project you want to do it. Do you want to work on 2 big projects at the same time or just one?
I get you.
I don't want to work on 2 big ones at the same time.
Just throw out a minimum like $20,000? I don't know what would you consider if you want to fund it? Like if I call you tomorrow and say, hey, I got $500, you ready to go?
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Okay. Thousands, tens of thousands. Because NVIDIA has been pretty good to me the last month.
Yeah.
I've decided that's it. I'm only betting NVIDIA up and down. He left. You scared him away.
I'm here.
Oh. Okay, so you're not working on an app, are you, for the I mean, I know the site works on phones and iPads and Android tablets, but you're not in development of a DD app for those things, right?
It's not a bad idea, but no, I would say currently no. I guess it's not a bad idea though.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
The app, that involves a lot more.
Oh yeah. You're
there's all kinds of headaches that come with that.
Yeah. Okay, so I got some off DD topics here. What's up with the Philadelphia Eagles? They just don't look good.
I don't know. It's either the coach or the quarterback. I can't figure it out yet.
Yeah. I mean, they're winning, luckily, some games. What's their record? Like 3-1?
I don't even know. They're either 2-2. They're 2-2.
They're like Saquon Barkley, and then there's the rest of the team. About the Phillies. Are you a Phillies fan?
They played today.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Never heard you really talk about the Phillies. But
no, I watch them. It's just,
big fan.
There's so many baseball games in a year. It's like,
Okay, I'm back on topic now because I remember reading this. What's the status of the auctions?
Again, I mean, it's stuff that I cannot.
It's programming related. Okay.
It's programming. There's a work list.
How about in lieu of an auction, we do a live podcast auction?
What was the issue in the last auction?
I think There were a couple. Like I think it shut off at the wrong time. It was allowing the wrong horses in because it's supposed to be specific to 2-year-olds or something. There's always the thing with the timer, but that's not specific to the last auction.
All right. Well, what I'll do is this
I
is what I'll
think it
do.
started early and you couldn't stop it or something.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll select a date this month. So maybe
Halloween,
the 19th, the 20th.
19th? Okay.
Maybe the 20th will be an auction.
Okay.
But really, what I would prefer is that the auction ends on the 18th on a Friday. That's the thing, because I said that I wanted to run a live auction, but I wanted the programmers, the developers, to be involved in it, and I wanted them to have access to it in
They
real
can watch
time.
and see. Okay.
And if you do an auction that ends on a Sunday, then I can't. So if there's an issue when the auction is live, when people are bidding Saturday and Sunday, it's harder for me to get a resolution because
Yeah.
they're not on a payroll Saturday and Sundays.
Yeah. Okay.
So whereas the server people and all that stuff, they're 24/7, and there's other people that are 24/7. Special developers and programmers, they got a life too. They're not.
Yeah.
They're,
No, I
you know.
hear you.
So the ideal first auction to make sure we get everything the way we want to get it would be Monday through Friday. And what I would say is to the programmers is, look, nothing else matters this week. Clear the schedule. As we come up with ideas and as we want this change it live. So if we open the auction on a Monday and we don't like the way the horses are entered as far as like the layout, like 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds first versus who enters first, whatever, they make that change live. If we don't like how the refresh is on the bid, we do that stuff live. If you know what I mean. So they're able to work
Do it live.
Yeah, we do everything in real time, and that's the best way to do it. I'm not going to sit here. Look, people make comments all the time, like, I don't know, it's Jason or whatever, like, oh, well, people have he's like, I had 4 sites and I always did stuff on a test server.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything on a test server. Those sites that he had, they have options to make it so that it's live, not live, as far as what you see on the same thing. You're not even using your own server. You're on a server with 1,000 other people. So when we talk about test servers, we actually have a real test server. We do testings on a test server, but I'm not going to move an auction to a test server and then ask 60 people, whatever, to jump on a test server to do a fake auction that the money doesn't even go anywhere. It doesn't make sense. The auction needs to be done live on the live site, and if we want serious change or serious updates or improvement to that auction, then you need to give the programmers access to that live period of time. It's not that the auction doesn't work. It's not going to work. It is going to work. It's just that it's just a change of the format on that week's auctions to allow for significant upgrades once and for all. Because if they get in and they can do it and it's live and everything's good, then we put it to bed and we move on. That's the way I would prefer to do it. I prefer to do a test Monday through Friday live auction, give the programmers full access, and it is what it is. And after that, we go back to the normal schedule.
I hear you. Look at the questions. Okay. That's all I have on my list.
Yeah, the other piece to that programming thing, when we talk about the distances and stuff like that, other items or whatever that we're working on is, we do have more of an advanced horse stats page that we would like to roll out that has a lot more data on the page, whether it's just gates or spot stats, running lanes, whatever, or just its own progress itself. As far as a graphs and stuff showing your, the form of the horse, also in comparison to the class of the race and all that kind of stuff that you can look at. That may be interesting and may be helpful.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I would say, let's keep these horses running. Let's keep the 2-year-olds running. I think the Super Maidens have been a big hit. They're out there. There's a lot of good races for 2-year-olds. There's a lot of good races now for 4-year-olds. Remember, 4-year-olds are still available with bonus credits. We should be running hard on all aspects.
Did you hear that?
And as far as what?
Tell me if you hear this. Couldn't hear that.
No.
That's Gary. I can't get the freaking file. Gary does the ending to all the shows now with his signature yeehaw, and I don't know how to get the file.
Add it to the brand section. You can play it. As a video or a soundbite.
I don't know how to save it from Discord. Like, it doesn't give me the option to save file. It gives me the option to forward it, but only to someone on Discord. Huh? It's on the main Discord. Oh no, wait. Never. Hang on.
No, I'm saying I can save it here.
Yeah, hang on. Let me.
As a brand soundbite.
Let me forward it to you. Okay, so I sent it to your. I sent it to what he sent me. It's in your Discord.
And guys, whoever else watching or watches later, because we do get a lot of views later. The stats, I'm still gonna post a bunch of spot stats throughout the day as I'm working on it, because I'm working on a new file that shows me this information. And I don't mind sharing the information. And people message me and they're asking me, "Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" Nothing's wrong. I'm just sharing information. I'm not.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me to hide. Just because I'm posting spot stats doesn't mean that I think anything's wrong or people should be worried about anything. I'm posting to show you currently where we're at, how it's doing, so you can feel that transparency. To me, you guys should feel happy about.
They do.
So that's the way I would take it. I wouldn't take it as, why is he posting all this stuff? Is something wrong? I'm posting to show you this is kind of where we're at. Now, I posted a bunch of California. Huh?
Well, my question was because I was too lazy to go back reading above, so I didn't know if you were answering somebody here.
No, I've literally gotten messages, people concerned that I'm posting this information. Like people will message me and say, "Hey, listen, I've never thought this was really ever an issue. This is one of the reasons I love Digital Downs, is because I always thought it was realistic to real. The racing was more realistic to real life, and it wasn't. This wasn't so much of an issue. Do I need to worry about it?" I'm saying, hey, historically, no, we built it the right way, and we know that there was we looked at a couple gates, but I'm gonna keep sharing the information. I always share the information even before this upgrade, and to the point where we're so transparent. I have no problem. We're going to move this to your actual individual horse page so you can see the data. But what I want is great. I want things to be great. There's no reason why we can't improve stuff.
I hear you. I did something else just popped in my head when I was looking through Discord. There's no plans to share like one stable being able to look at another stable, correct? Like look through their horses and all that. There's so much public information. I don't care. People can look through mine, but like it's never been here, right? You've never been able to look inside someone's stable, right?
No.
Okay. I think more would be against it, but
no, you never have been able to do that in the past.
Okay.
My belief is what's private is private.
Right.
It's not locked. I mean, you can see other people's data. You just have to know how to find it.
Right.
You can also look on the past race history for this season. You can find everybody's horses that have raced. You can click into the horses. There's different ways to do it. But this idea that you're going to click a link or a button to see all your horses.
I don't
know if that's the right thing to do.
The question I got was for someone who was from someone.
Here you go. Let me. I seen the questions. I see it all the time, and I see Tony's questions and stuff like that. The only thing that I would be in favor of on this topic would be from the breeding side. I would say active horses. You have no right to look into someone's barn. From a breeding side, I think there could be a toggle button for the owner to say, make my breeders public allow my breeders to be viewed publicly. Right?
Right.
So if you chose that option and we made a new page, if we made a new tab, breeder lookup or breeder whatever, breeder database, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
The stables that have chosen that toggle button to allow their breeders to be viewed, to view, they'll populate there. Okay. And the owners that have decided they don't want their breeders to be available to view publicly, then they don't have the button turned. So it's a default no that you would have to change to yes, and then we could view your breeders. As far as active 2-year-olds and 2-year-olds, that's not. I don't really think that. I don't think that's appropriate.
Yeah,
I could be way wrong on this. I just think that it's your own business. It's your own stable.
Right. The person that asked me was like, "Look, I want to buy a 3-year-old from somebody because I want to breed with it next year. They're not really racing, if they're racing it or not, or they don't look like they're doing much with it. I need, Empire Maker because he's not on a certain page anymore. So I'd like to see anyone that has an Empire Maker without having to go all the way down the Empire Maker DD bloodline and look at all 82 of its foals, or that type of thing, where they're not quite breeder, but they want to, get to the
Well, how about
punch.
this? How about this? We kind of already have this stuff available. Okay. It's just that, I don't know, there's hidden steps or people don't know all the steps or whatever it is. But in theory, it's like, if I did a horse search, right now we do a horse search and we just do it by name, right? But what if there was a horse search page where on that page you could search by sire, mare, you could search by conforms, retired, search by age, but really only those kind of things. Nothing like, you couldn't search by like owner.
No, this was more, well, there's been two. One just wants full access to everybody's stable, but I was thinking more along the ones where I got someone contact me out of the blue wanting to know if I was selling such and such. And it's like, how'd they even find this horse, And they had gone through, they knew it was ring, 2 rings back, and it was a disco, like grandbaby or whatever. And they're true, it wasn't much of a racer, so I only raced it once. And they asked me, like, would you be willing to sell this? And I'm like, how'd you even find this thing? And they're like, I went to rhythm and then disco and clicked on all the ones that had very few races, and one at a time to see if it was, so it's like, that's where they were coming at. If I could just punch in a horse and look up certain bloodline, or not a horse, but look up certain bloodlines. And I like the other idea on the.
I don't mind searches for certain aspects that pull up horses, but I think that could be implemented. But an overall look into someone's stable for active horses, I would.
No, I don't like that either, unless you did the same thing with the. Yes, I'm okay with it, but the other one though sounds like I would want people to look through my breeders, so they might want to use them.
Right. Yeah.
But okay. I remember that came up, but that was about it on my end, and we've taken up an hour and a half. And of course I'm hungry, so.
Yeah, well, hopefully some of it helped as far as information goes.
Oh, no, very good information. And people that listen to this, now Dash, he's with Bob. I don't know. I don't know if he's with you on allow, don't allow, or just.
I think he means he's with me on the breeding allow side to make the stable private side.
Yeah, and then he says you can already search by sire in a way. Yeah, you can. I
always look at it like you could search by conformations to see what the other what similar conformations have produced, like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
You can now, or you mean?
no, I'm saying that's the way I would look at it. It's like, if I
Yeah,
have,
that's what I was thinking is without having to go through every iteration, to dig down and look at every offspring of a long and if you could actually just punch in a conform and say, these are the horses that, and they would only see the ones that people have allowed them to see as far as breeders.
yeah, I think
I like
I actually think the new breeding hub actually has that feature, but it's only for
it has, but it's only if they're listed for
right,
breeds, right?
only if they're listed for breeding.
Yeah. Well, you could just expand that, right?
Yeah.
And then institute that. I'm not saying tomorrow, but I mean, I like that idea though. I hadn't thought about that. I mean, I'm more than willing to post my breeds on my Excel file on a public page and let them look at them. So please look at them. Interesting. So what were you up to today? Soccer?
Yeah, I went to hold on a second.
Yep.
1 second.
Soccer. Hey, Mr. Dash, what when you say I'm with Bob, which topic? Like forever, never gonna see my stuff, or the opt-in to see breeders, or just curious? No, it's missing today is Christmas. He's had 100% attendance. I think he was doing something where he was going to win a lot of money, but I don't remember what it was. It was in Discord. Look at Bob, confused. Read a text. He's quite confused. So anybody listening, please send comments on what you thought about the content so far, and whether it's worthwhile to do these type of things monthly, weekly, every day. Sure, it's not every day, but Dash says, yeah, I like that too. I like that a lot. So send us your comments on you wanting to do.
All right, sorry about that
as well. He clarified what you were saying, opt in on the breeders and all that. I think that was it for me, Bob. Anything?
yeah, so yeah, that's I went to
oh yeah, that's right.
watch one of my friend's sons play soccer. Kid's 7 years old, but he always wants me to come watch him play. He's a good little player.
Nice.
So, and I haven't been able to do that all season because we've been too busy playing.
Yeah.
This is our first Saturday where we don't have a match, and tomorrow we're going up there close to Long Island in the afternoon. So that's tomorrow. And then I have a bunch of stuff lined up this afternoon. Plus, I imagine from the evening on, I'm gonna go cut some grass actually now for the next couple hours. But in the most of the evening, I'll be online with DD.
Okay. So
things to work on.
you know how I have a vested interest in something that lives in your house that I've frequently discussed. Will you be visiting that particular?
I will pass him a couple times
with the weed whacker, or
no? It'll just be the straight ride along mower. I mean, so
you surely got to be afraid of that thing too.
If you don't want to get cut up, he'll just stay where he's at.
How's Bailey doing? Still waiting for that appearance.
Valley's good. Valley's Valley's goofy, but it's a great dog.
Yeah.
The other one, the other dog, not so much.
Now, kid's okay? Got college picked yet, or
No college is picked.
no college? Okay.
She's doing
I don't want
fine.
to get too much in your private life.
Kids are fine. They're still doing well in school. I mean,
When's the wife coming on?
she's not coming on, dude.
Oh, we want her on.
No.
We want 30 minutes with the wife.
Yeah, right.
You could be here too. I mean,
She's
you could be like a lawyer.
I don't know.
Like a lawyer.
Every
Don't
time,
answer that. Don't answer that.
every time she comes down here when I'm on, she's like, like, and then walks away. She don't want no part of it.
Part of it.
No part of it. No.
Yeah, but if she got the option to
we're like the total opposites. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'll be front and center, and whatever. Like, we can get into it. And I'll do. We'll do 1,000 videos. I don't care. She's like, she don't want no part of a video. Yeah.
Yeah.
My son,
we have to get others on here.
My son's all about it though. Like, he'll.
Oh yeah, we got to get him on here.
He would hop on in a minute. My
we
daughter.
We want to watch him play his games live.
Yeah, my daughter was the same way her mom. My daughter will she even though she's very photogenic, she will not share her pictures. She doesn't jump on videos. She's very
Well, she's probably, she's what, 17, 18?
17. Yeah.
Yeah. Really, she want to be on here with a bunch of old men?
Nah.
Well, speak for
myself. I'm saying in general, just videos and pictures and stuff like that.
But since she's she's kind of in the horse business.
Yeah,
she might want to. This is me at such and such. That have to be like an 8-hour podcast.
She's trying to sell a horse right now. So,
anybody here? You mean like a equestrian type horse?
Yeah, so she's been training one for like 3-4 months. She's trying to get rid of it for like, it's not a lot. It's like, I don't know, 3,500 or something.
Yeah. So anybody looking for that type of horse, is it on Facebook or Instagram, or does she have a sales site, or
she has something?
Oh, okay.
I'm not plugging it though. She sold a couple. I mean, she's done a good job. I mean, she sold a few, but I actually didn't like this purchase when she made it.
Oh.
And I tried to. She's gonna have to learn on her own of like what's good, what's bad, that kind of stuff. But
yeah, that's true.
Because
life's lessons.
Yeah, obviously, you want to flip horses, man. You want to flip them as soon as possible. You don't really need any long-term projects that aren't really gonna. You're not really gonna get, more from that. Right. I think eventually she's gonna get into, selling warm bloods.
Oh.
So. Gotcha. She probably, that's what she'll probably have her own farm one day, and then she'll be selling warm bloods and stuff. And
gotcha. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
somebody actually getting to do what they want in life,
Yeah.
Versus all the rest of this. Well, not you, but I mean.
Yeah, she's very outspoken and opinionated on equestrian in the U.S. because of how, it is very much a pay-to-play system. It's like
oh, absolutely.
You could be a great rider, but if your parents aren't like multi-millionaires, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Because really,
if you don't have a benefactor of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have like ridiculous money. I mean, you're gonna have to buy like some warm blood that's it's some ridiculous thing, and then you got to know this person and that person, and
I can imagine. That's
what one of the cool things though in this past Olympics. If I don't know if you watched any of the jumping events at the Olympics.
I did actually watch some mainly because
So my wife was, she still trains now, but she was the director of an equestrian program at a private school.
Oh wow!
And one of her students competed in the Olympics.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, and so that was pretty cool.
Are we a top-notch country for equestrian in the Olympics and all that? Or
we're decent, but we're not. I would say, historically, we've won medals, we've won gold medals, we've done good things, but I would say there's other countries that are
Yeah.
historically better than us. And I would say like Great Britain. Or,
Yeah.
I don't even call Great Britain.
Oh,
England.
why'd you have to say them?
Yeah.
Now Gary's just gonna.
Yeah, no, England, Germany.
Yeah, just leave Ireland out of it though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, there's quite a bit. U.S. always has a strong contingent, but it's like,
Yeah.
again, there's never any fresh blood. It's the same people because it's the same money,
Yeah. Exactly.
right?
Rich.
No. Yeah. So like, this guy. Let's just take any one of these guys. Has been the same guy you've watched for 16 years, right?
Yeah.
On different horses and this and that, whatever. Because I understand he may be that talented, he may be that good or whatever, but there's a lot of people that ride. There's a lot of there's probably better talent that can actually get the job done rather than just settling for the guy and
Absolutely.
But yeah, so anyway, she's like very outspoken about that whole thing. So she actually would like to be a part of a situation in the future where she is an outlet or a resource for other people who may be talented, super talented riders, but don't have the means to.
Oh, so she can like match them up with the.
Or even at her own facility, if you do it right, and you basically, if there's kids that are good enough to go ride on the A circuit and can ride warm bloods in Florida, California, or even here, or whatever, but they never get the opportunity to do so because they can't afford the training, they can't afford to travel, they can't afford.
Don't have connections, yeah.
And yeah, so and what she's saying is that it would be an ideal situation. Like there's actually a gap there that someone can fill where it's about those type of talented kids. It's not about always like it's not a poverty thing. It's not about giving away stuff to the less fortunate. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. You still have to earn. This is earned, but it's recognizing the talent pool. It's very much like
people that will never get a chance that have been identified.
Like my daughter may be a better rider than Bill Gates' daughter. Right.
Probably is, yeah.
But but Bill Gates' daughter is the one that's going to get all the opportunity.
Right.
I'm not poor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not it's just a weird kind of closed community. It's really, really is.
Oh yeah. I watched a documentary on that a few maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And one of them was about the woman that
what are you trying to do?
Oh.
Well, what is it what you're doing and how's that affect what I'm doing?
Here we go. Bring him on. Bring him on.
Well, come here. Yo, come here.
Bring him on.
Yo, look at this haircut, dude. Like this dude needs a haircut. Come here.
Yeah. Bring him on.
Yeah. Come here, dude. Come here.
Some will pay him to show up. Oh, yeah. 70s, baby. 80s. Bring it on. Get a guitar, man. He's ready to go rocking.
He's getting his sides cut today.
What?
He's getting his sides cut today.
Well, are the girls going to be okay with it?
It's too long, dude.
Oh, no. He looks like a boy band guy. He's rocking a boy band.
Yeah. Can I play Rocket League?
Can speak English? What do you say?
Can I play Rocket League? I said that in English, not French.
Rocket League, baby.
Rocket League. Can you play Rocket League?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I thought he wanted to know if I wanted to play. We got to get him on our games, Bob. We got to get him in Rust and Sons of the Forest.
Yeah.
Get him and Steve's kid.
He talks a lot of shit, dude.
Yeah. I could.
He does.
I heard, like we could hear it the one night. It's kind of funny. But
I gotta yell downstairs sometimes, like, "Yo, knock that shit off, dude."
All right, thank you, sir. Very good.
Once again, thanks everyone for being a part of Digital Downs. I really appreciate it, and I keep working for you. Much as I can.
Take care. Right. Take care, everybody.
All right, peace out.